So to feel fully in control of your life, the reason why you don't feel fully in control, says your chart, is because in your decision making, your heart and your psychic ability is not being consulted. And so as a result, you end up losing control. Hello, my friend and earthly neighbor, and welcome back to another fun-filled, exciting week in 2017. This time we're in the jolly month of June, and we've literally had our minds blown, and we're coasting forward into a new reality. This week, Sensei says, you're going to find a new attitude that you can keep for maybe life, and you're going to start to move forward on that fairness plan. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste Today. Welcome to Namaste Today, a bright and sunny way to begin your day. I'm your heartfelt host and what I call the Sensei to Serious Joy, Christopher Witecki. Thanks for joining me, my friend. Namaste. Well, this week we are moving into a new attitude, but that's not going without a fight. We're going to have a full moon in the middle of the week, and this might be some sort of inner kind of battle between your mind and your beliefs. And in this case, it looks like your beliefs are going to win, and there's going to be a change of mind. So in your upcoming segment this week, I'm going to talk you through the 5 days and what leads up to the full moon. And later in our tea time, I thought I'd dive deep for all 12 signs and talk about full moon attitude. But first, let's take a look at the week's moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is from Monday, June 5th to Friday, June 9th, 2017. Looking at your 5-day moodcast. Well, looking at the week as a whole, it starts out very calm and spiritual, builds through to certainty, and then we have the climax Friday morning with the full moon. Let's take a look and drill down. On Monday, it's sunny and calm as Step 15 rolls today, and you find a new peace of mind. On Tuesday, it's cloudy and spiritual, and a yod will point you perhaps in a new direction. On Wednesday, it's sunny and certain as you're ready to make up your mind about what your mind should be. On Thursday, it's sunny and passionate as the moon begins to climb towards a full moon and a commitment. And on Friday, it's sunny and transformative as a full moon in the morning shifts your attitude. Well, looking at the week ahead, it's really about a slow build-up to a change of mind. In our next segment this week, I'm going to walk you through the week and the details of the full moon. Taking a peek at the upcoming week, I coined this week, Creating New Attitude. Now, last week we were discovering new thinking. I was getting your mind out of ruts, maybe certain depressions, maybe circular, maybe there was not an answer, okay? And you found, hopefully, your way out. But that doesn't mean you discovered what your operating attitude would be. An attitude is kind of like an intellectual prejudice, usually that we adopt from our life experience. And sometimes what happens is our attitude starts to rule us, even though the facts and figures and information of our life might change. And so this week, is the creation of a new attitude, but it may be because you run into a wall with your old attitude, or your old attitude may cause a problem that you can no longer ignore. So it's difficult to change our mind. We're all quite stubborn about the way we think, and lots of us spend most of our time in our minds. We have 12 states of awareness, our heart, our emotions, our body, but most people live up in their minds. So these attitudes become really sort of crusty. Now, looking at the week ahead, this is the universe kind of bumping you out of your old attitude and gently, or with a full moon, forcibly putting you into a new attitude. And as soon as we actually find that new attitude or have the full moon in the split, Jupiter in Libra goes direct, which means the story of restoring our balance, restoring our fairness, restoring our relationships, there's no more to consider. It's almost as if the universe wanted this new attitude in place before we moved forward. So it's a fascinating kind of shift. Now, looking at the week ahead, it actually starts off very calm, very, very calm. It's sunny and calm on Monday. The moon is in Scorpio, and so I think emotionally on Monday and Tuesday, there's a lot of drawing lines. Like, I don't feel this, I don't feel that. And attitude often does come from our emotions. We're feeling certain ways, and we develop certain attitudes. Well, in the early part of the week, you'll be looking at the emotional side, where maybe you need to grow up, maybe where you need to open up, okay? And this opening up or growing up with your emotions shifts you or begins to crack the foundation of the old attitude. So Monday is a calm day. It's a balanced day. You can plan things to happen on that day. Tuesday, it's cloudy and spiritual. In fact, Venus goes to 0 degrees Taurus. Mercury goes to 0 degrees on the same day. And we have a trine pointing to the sun from the moon and Pluto. So what this basically says is you're going to be feeling your new boundaries. You're going to be feeling the new rules that you want to make. And those new boundaries and rules on this spiritual day should be really what helps you change your attitude. So it's that rules have changed, boundaries have changed, so attitude has to change. And Tuesday is a very cloudy, reflective day. On Wednesday, you get very sharp. You're going to be sunny and feeling rather certain. The sun is going to be the sun is at step 17, so you're ready to make a decision based on your intuition and commit to perhaps a new attitude in a new direction. And in this same amount of time, the moon moves into Sagittarius during the course of the day. So once you kind of make this decision, you kind of put it in motion. That may mean that you make phone calls, tell people, sign contracts. Some of this Gemini stuff has to do with literal intellectual property or literal contracts and things like that. So if you're weighing back and forth on a contract, you'll be certain by the end of Wednesday, okay, or some sort of legal thing. On Thursday, things get sunny and quite passionate. The moon starts to move into full status now in Sagittarius. Mars is at step 2 and Venus is at step 2. So there's a lot of emotion. It's almost like on Thursday there's a lot of beating of the chest and deciding we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Technically you decided the day before, but on Thursday you're really, really certain and you're really passionate about it. So Thursday is a great day for marketing, getting things moving forward, getting the word out. And really that's the day on Thursday that you decide and commit. So technically by the time you go to bed on Thursday night, whatever you decide and commit to, that's basically what the full moon is going to pull apart while you fall asleep. In fact, the full moon comes to its apex early in the morning, like 9 a.m. Eastern, around 6 a.m. Pacific. And so we wake up with this kind of like pull. Now, the full moon is basically our feelings about what we believe in Sagittarius, conjuncting Saturn. So what's happening is we're going to be really coming to some decisions about what we believe or don't believe. Sometimes this is based on information. Like I'm looking at the evidence, I decide I believe this, or I decide I believe that. And there might be a lot of reflection on Thursday of, what your story has been, what you've known in the past, has it worked for you in the past? There's a lot of this working up to the full moon where the moon is literally in conjunct with Saturn. And so you're deciding emotionally that you believe this. And because you believe this emotionally, therefore you must think this way on the other side with the sun in Gemini. Now the full moon's actually at step 18, but it turns to 19 like an hour later. So it is what you fall asleep with on Thursday night, what you decide and commit, step 18, to think about, or what actions or information you want to run forward with, because 18 adds to a 9. You go to bed Thursday, and on Friday, the universe has kind of sealed the deal. What's fascinating is, on Friday, it's going to be sunny, but very transformative. It's almost like the word gets out immediately. This might be a full moon where technically the apex is in the morning, but we might feel the real rifting or bipolar kind of energies Friday night. So be careful if you go out Friday night. It's definitely one of those full moons that's pretty intense. The moon will be on Saturn, so we'll be actually feeling rather responsible and dignified, but there's a lot of intense energy. And like I said, the moon apex is early in the morning, and then like 2 hours later, I looked this up, Jupiter goes direct in Libra. So as soon as we make this decision between belief and what we really think, and we decide and commit to a new intellectual path or a new intellectual attitude, then our story of remaining in balance, or our story of finding what's fair, finding our mate, finding what's equal, and because it's Jupiter in Libra, discovering great art or great music, all of this creative energy under Libra, that story moves forward. That has been on hold for 6 months as we've been reconsidering. a lot of the reconsidering we were doing was that in Aries we were changing who we are. Okay, in Taurus we were changing what we manifest. And here in Gemini we've been changing what we think. So it looks like we couldn't establish fairness in our life until we changed our character, what we were manifesting, and how we were thinking, right? So it was pretty intense, but things do move forward. Then over the weekend, it's kind of cloudy and serious on Saturday, and then Sunday it's sunny and opening up. So it's almost like this will be a full moon that really draws an emotional line. And this emotional line really does change your thinking. And this might change your contracts and change your direction. And so after this intensity, I think you will feel that life now is moving forward, and we begin to build on that plan in the following week. Now, I do think that there's an interesting dynamic going on between the full moon and Jupiter direct. So that is what I've left the tea time topic to. So go steep yourself some tea. Let's have our weekly tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. This week's tea time topic is full moon attitude. This is going to be, I think, a pretty intense full moon. Not intense as far as high drama, just intense as far as high inner drama or interchange. So I think we're going to go through some profound interchange. And it's likely going to be private, although some people may deal with it publicly or with friends or in certain situations. As always, it's going to play out in part of your story, part of your sun sign story, what I call the A story, the story of who we are. It's definitely going to play out kind of literally in that story, but it may be more figuratively inside of you or more figuratively in your rising sign or B story. And the elements of this full moon are pretty intense as far as change is concerned. First of all, the sun itself will be at step 18. Step 18 is I love and I decide. So basically, we are deciding what we love. That's how you do it. You read it backwards. And when you decide what you really love, you can act. So our mind is making itself up to something we really love. We can put our heart behind. That's really what you're trying to align as far as the right attitude is concerned. The right attitude comes from the heart and what the heart is seeking to experience. So as the week progresses, we kind of come up to this decision of my heart is dedicated to this. At that point, we have the full moon on Friday, and the moon, of course, is at step 18, but it's in Sagittarius, and it's also conjuncting Saturn. Saturn in Sagittarius retrograde. Saturn's at step 24. So what this means is our emotions are also deciding something. Our feelings are deciding that we believe something. Sagittarius, we believe something about our life, believe something about ourselves. And because the moon is conjuncting Saturn, although a couple of degrees apart, we're not just deciding, but we're taking responsibility. It's like we now decide and are going to feel responsible. And this is a full moon, which is like writing a full check, saying our feelings have dedicated to this responsibility, and therefore we've decided this with our mind and our attitude. So it's this pulling apart. And it's the coordination of your feelings growing up about something with you. And that's maybe what the holdup has been as far as this new attitude is concerned, that emotions, we're not wanting to grow up, especially in Sagittarius, right? That's the child in us that doesn't want to grow up, the Peter Pan syndrome, Peter Pan and Wendy. Now, at the same moment of the full moon, Mercury is at step 4 Gemini, which is really phenomenally crazy because that is the exact degree of where we had the new moon. We had the mind-blowing new moon at step 4, and here Mercury is back up to it. So our mind is back to that seed or kernel of revelation that we had in the new moon, and that's where our mind is. Remember, Gemini is the mind, but Mercury is what the mind's thinking about right now. So in the full moon, we're thinking about the new moon, which is fascinating to me because it's really the universe just working like beautiful clockwork. And step 4 is that we belong on a higher level, that we belong higher. That's the premise. Now, Jupiter agrees. Jupiter is retrograde during the actual full moon at step 13 Libra, which is also adds to a 4 that we belong higher. And Jupiter is saying you belong higher in your relationships, Libra. You belong higher in what's fair. You belong higher in what you receive. Okay, you belong in higher beauty. You belong in higher comfort. All the things that come with wonderful Libra. Greater music. And the 13 means it's a revolution, it's time to change, and it's kind of encoded in this full moment. So it's singing at the moment of the full moon like we belong higher. And interesting also is Mars and Venus, who've been basically dancing together at the same step number all week long. They've been in harmonics. They're in a harmonic on the full moon as well. Mars is at step 3 Cancer, which means we're opening up to new feelings. And Venus is at step 3 Taurus. We're opening up to new manifestations as a result. So it's a real ta-da kind of astrological chord, like a real, something is really going to happen. You almost feel like curtains are going to open right after this. And I do think that's true. I think, again, this is all kind of building up to the American solar eclipse, the North American solar eclipse going on August 21st. I think that is the ta-da. That is when our hearts come out. That is when we start to solar bloom from all this transformation. I'd say all this year, 2017, has been nothing but transformation. So I'm glad to see some curtains starting to open. We have one more thing after this, and that's our emotions to deal with. We'll talk about that next month when the sun is in Cancer. So this full moon is a declaration of independence from an old attitude and the birth of a new attitude that's likely based on a new philosophy, a new belief, or you could say a new constitution. That the moon and Saturn and Sagittarius have said, you know what, I'm going to update the Bill of Rights. I'm going to change my constitution. I'm going to change my laws. I'm going to change my philosophy. Or you're saying, I've come to believe now that da-da-da-da, so therefore I must change my thinking and the direction I go. So I thought, as always, I would help all 12 signs with this little full moon attitude issue. And we're going to talk about the moon, the sun, and what Jupiter brings. Because 1 hour after the full moon, Jupiter goes direct, and we start moving forward with this Jupiter story, which I just think is amazing. I've always said this before, like, God wastes no time. I swear to God, like, the planets are like, as soon as they get this, move forward with that. It's almost like there's this beautiful stage director in the background, constantly cueing things. So as always, let's start with our purebred humans, the Arieses. This is going to be, your emotions are going to feel very responsible around your beliefs and your stories. So feelings in Sagittarius is for your beliefs. You're feeling very responsible about your beliefs, very responsible about what makes things right in your life. And that's going to have a shift in your attitude. So your thinking is going to change, your contracts are going to change, maybe even your affiliates are going to change. And what's interesting is with Jupiter going direct an hour later, you then move forward in your personal relationships. So if you've been an Aries that has been single for 6 months or miserable in relationships for 6 months, it looks like the universe is waiting for you to up your attitude based on what you believe. That's how I read it. Taurus, you're going to be feeling very responsible about making changes in your life or about holding certain boundaries, holding certain fortitude. So you're going to feel very, very strong about trust and committing to a transformation. And because you feel strong about trust and transformation, you're able to change what you have been valuing. So Taurus is actually having this happen in the 10th house. They're shifting what they manufacture, what they manifest, the level at which they manifest, and that all comes from a change, a solidarity of trust. Now, as soon as you do that, your lifestyle starts moving forward again. So your lifestyle's been on hold for about 6 months. It now starts to move forward and grow. So you have a daily lifestyle that grows. Also a good time for the gym, Taurus. Telling myself here. Gemini, you're going to get really emotional about relationships. So Geminis might pop the question or have the question pop to them. Like they're going to get really responsible, feel really responsible about their relationships and where relationships are going. And that's going to help them change their ego, which is what they chase after. So the income of this will be that you chase after something else due to a feeling of responsibility in your relationships, and this will make your love story move forward. So the universe has been waiting for your ego to change because of relationships for love to move forward. So love moves forward for the Geminis. The Cancers, you're going to feel very, very passionate and like responsible about your day-to-day reality, your day-to-day life, or your health issues, and this is going to allow you to have a shift in faith. So I'm hoping for Cancers, this is a hallelujah moment where you're like, oh my God, I have so much evidence, here's my faith. But it will be a change of faith, a change in spiritual destiny, if you will. And this will actually make your home life and family relationships now start to move forward. So home and family have been on hold for 6 months. They now move forward. The Leos, you're going to feel heartfelt and mighty about your love, personal dreams, and creative projects. So this is the area where Leos light up the most. So this full moon is going to make you light up like Disneyland, but kind of a serious Disneyland because it's conjuncting Saturn. And what this is going to do, being very, very filled with love and dreams, is going to help you choose the right attitude and direction direction in society. So you're going to be able to change what you aim for in the world from some sort of message of the heart. Now what this does is move Jupiter forward in your planning and your thinking. So Leos have been kind of thinking in circles for 6 months with Jupiter retrograde, not sure where to go or what to think next. This will allow you to think forward. You had to be clear on your heart and where you belonged in society. The Virgos, you're going to feel really passionate about your home, your family, your foundation, your castle, really grounded, or be making a decision that you need to ground, you need to live in a certain place, you need a certain level. And by being so clear of having to live at a certain level, this allows you to make choices about your career, your children, and your legacy. So Virgos make some very responsible decisions with this Gemini. The cool thing is, this career direction change is what makes your worth go forward. So Jupiter in Libra means, okay, time to make more money for Virgos, time to manifest more as a result. So you've been on hold with earnings for about 6 months, time to move forward again. Libras, you're going to feel really, really impassioned about your attitude in general. The full moon is in your 3rd house. So you're going to get a really strong attitude, probably the strongest attitude of all this full moon. People might argue with Libras on this full moon. And what this is going to do is help you change your belief. You're going to have a change of belief based on a certain attitude that just seems that it can't be avoided. And the cool thing is, it's this change of attitude and your belief direction or your point of belief that allows your own ego and growth to move forward. So you were growing really fast and then you went on a 6-month hiatus and you've been kind of going in circles about what to do next and who to be next. But this full moon shifts it forward and you now know, okay, I'm going to go this way because I'm clear in what I believe and I have the right attitude. So good for Libras. Scorpios, you're going to feel extremely pompous and filled and pumped up about your values. So you're going to really feel like you're worth $1 million. You're going to feel very confident. This is going to allow you to go ahead and play the cards in your poker that you need to play and bet on yourself. And this is going to shift what you trust. So you're going to trust yourself on a higher level, probably due to the fact that you're feeling so damn wealthy inside yourself. And the universe is helping you come to your abundance. And what this does is allow your social power and social reputation to move forward. So you've been on hold about 6 months since your birthday period about who am I in the world, what should I do, who am I in the world. Now you'll be clear. Once you understand what you're worth and where the lines are, you'll be clear on where to go in the world. Sagittarius, you're going to feel really strong about your strength, okay, what you're strong about. And this has been a huge point of change for you. You have Saturn in your sign. You've been doing a lot of change. So you're going to finally come in this full moon to understand, yes, I think this is my character. I think this is what I'm strong about. This allows you to change the terms of your relationships. So a lot of Sagittarius held back by relationships and certain attitudes in their relationships. By changing your relationships, you're able to move forward now with your social experience and moving forward with your social success, okay? Actually, Scorpios, I have to go back for a second. Scorpios are not going to gain in society from that trust. They're going to gain in faith. Sorry, a little typo there, but I just caught it, and I'm grateful. So Scorpios, you move forward with inner faith and your spiritual purpose, which does include doing well in the world. But Sagittarius says you move forward with your social popularity. Sorry about that, folks. A lot of notes here. Capricorns, you're going to feel, for once, the faith. Okay, like Capricorns can be very judgmental, very critical, insisting on evidence. So this full moon gives you like ridiculous faith. And what this allows you to do is have the courage to change your reality. So I think Capricorns make some reality changes because they're feeling the faith. And what this allows with Jupiter direct is for your career and your business plans to move forward, or your family plans if you're trying to be a parent right now. So you're going to move forward with career. Aquarius, you are going to be feeling a call in society, feeling like the world needs you. And that's pretty rare. Okay, Aquas usually hide out and wait for the revolution. But you're going to feel where you need to be, and that allows you to be really clear on what your heart should chase after. Okay, so by feeling your place, you know what your heart should chase after, and this allows your adventure to move forward. Jupiter in Libra is expanding your knowledge and giving you an adventure and life purpose. So you are on the path of some joy. And then finally, the Pisces. You're going to be feeling really solid about your career, which is also rare, right? Pisces have not been for a long time. It's been back and forth with Saturn. So you're going to feel like your future is in this direction or that direction, which is going to allow you to make some choices about the emotional home and foundation that you need. If you want this career, you need this sort of a foundation. And what this allows is for you to begin to trust yourself. Once you have your career in alignment and you have your feelings in alignment, now you can trust yourself. Now you can trust to move forward. So it's a powerful full moon, folks, where I think we find a new attitude. And pardon my little mess up there earlier. I guess time to time I'm going to be making mistakes like everyone, right? Well, I hope you have a powerful full moon. I am so grateful for you tuning in every week, my friend. I do want to remind you I have a fantastic companion service called the Serious Joy Personal Sensei Service. Comes with an online app that will literally give you hour-by-hour astrological predictions for your life. There's nothing out there like it. Give it a try for $3.99. Come on down to SeriousJoy.com. And if you like to rub elbows with other light walkers and in the spiritual community, we do have a Facebook club. You can come down and join the club at namastetoday.club. All right, friends, I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you back on the other side of the full moon. Until then, remember I love you and live, love, be.